As social media spreads misinformation in our daily lives, this is also extending to people's nutritional choices with videos such as this one.
These foods are making you fat and sick. If you think plant-based butter is good for you, think again. I can't believe it's not butter made with olive oil. Well, guess what? It ain't, because it's made with GMO soybean oil, palm oil, and another palm oil, and then a touch of oil.
Some influencers are claiming to know everything about what is killing you, while experts like Dr. Fred Caporaso say this topic is hard because facts are scarce.
The problem that comes for a lot of topics, including food, is it's not factual. It's based on a personal perception.
Out of all food concerns in the US, 38% of them are about the additives and chemicals in their food.
I'm concerned with what's in my food in the sense that I'm drawn to things that I have seen people I know eat, which I guess is one of those things like maybe I should be reading it for myself. I kind of trust what other people I know will eat, and that kind of makes sense to me to buy that.
While the words artificial and ultra-processed are new terms, they are now being associated with bad health, with social media being at the forefront of this classification.
I get people saying they're concerned about overly processed foods, but they have to define it more. The definition that comes out of this new group that's coined that term is NOVA.
NOVA food classification states the golden rule should always be to prefer naturally or minimally processed foods and freshly made dishes and meals to ultra-processed ones. While this is true, it is important to understand the different classifications. According to NOVA, processed food mean anything with 2 to 3 ingredients, and ultra-processed foods are made entirely from manufacturing with no original natural ingredients.
In some cases, processed can be good from the standpoint of saving lives for safety and also added for convenience in some cases. And centuries ago, processing was essential. The people who consumed processed foods were the ones that survived.
The problem with these so-called nutritionists on social media is consumers aren't aware of what these words mean, and oftentimes people are not willing to do their own research.
I feel like it's a very broad term that's kind of used to gloss over anything that's artificial, but I don't know what exactly process means.
There's a lot of like artificial processing and stuff. It's not great. So like that's like an example of it.
Some social media influencers and companies are thought to be taking advantage of this confusion and lack of knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, social media, we already know it's kind of fake just in general, and people try to act like they are nutritionists and will say like, oh, this is good for you, this is not. You could put on like a whole fake facade and like say that this product is actually good and try to like hype up the company, but like ultimately it's not good for you and it does the complete opposite.
While influencers preach not using certain foods based on what companies give them promotions, scientists urge moderation.
I think people shouldn't be overdoing it with fear. There's no good and bad foods necessarily. It's the amount that's the key.
However, there doesn't seem to be any plans to stop making this kind of content.
On average, I probably see 7 to 10 posts a day just from influencers, regardless of whether or not I follow them.
You probably should be linking up with a professional rather than somebody's feeling who's in the editorial group or in a position that's dealing with issues that are controversial. You need to get people who are knowledgeable.
This has been Nathaniel Rudolph reporting for BRJL 310.